Hi, and welcome to another episode of New to Me. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and today we are looking at the Zhiyun crane. This is the original crane. It's not the version 2, it's not the M. I believe it is the original one that started it all. Now, full disclosure, this was sent to me by a company for review. I'm not making any money off this video. So, jumping right into it. First off, the case. The case is a heavy-ish plastic. I can kind of push down on it, and if you drop this, it will break, it will crack. Not the greatest case. When you open it up, it does feel very flimsy. Now, taking a look at the inside, it does have this foam cutaway, but the foam isn't very stiff. It's not the weakest foam, but it's not the strongest foam. Not really thrilled with the case. I'll probably replace it with a Pelican case. One of the other things I found with this case is that once you adjust the gimbal to your camera, you have to undo it. You have to kind of unbalance it to put it back in the case, which is kind of a big problem. But inside the case, you have your battery charger. You get a USB charger. You have two 36 milliamp proprietary batteries. These look like C batteries, but they are Li ion, whatever those are. You get a 3/8 inch screw, little screw here for mounting your camera. The 1/4-20 is already on there, and you get the lens adapter. This is to support your lens if you have a little bit of a longer lens on the unit. And of course, it comes in two pieces, the main gimbal and the carbon fiber handle, and you have a 1/4-20 on the bottom as always. Assembly is very easy. You just take the handle, pop in the batteries, screw it on, and you are ready to go. So on the crane handle, you have the 5-axis joystick, the power button, which also doubles as a photo button and a record button, a zoom in and zoom out lever, and you have the mode button. Swinging around to the side, you have a micro USB for charging, and right behind the upper motor, you also have another micro USB charger for plugging in your camera so that you can utilize the options on the handle. Okay, so what kind of camera are you putting on this crane? Well, they say you can put the Sony A7 series, the Nikon J, the Canon EOM series, and the Panasonic Luminex. And I will say some Panasonic Luminex cameras. I actually put the GH4 on this with the 12 to 135mm lens. Then I tried the lens support, and it was just way too heavy and very awkward to balance, to the point where when I finally got it balanced, I was getting a lot of the plate hitting the lower unit because of the way I had to adjust it. So then I scrapped that and I tried my speed booster with my Canon 50mm 1.8, and that was better, but the body just felt too heavy. It was still very awkward. I still had to have it adjusted so low that it was hitting the handle. So, the lighter the camera and the smaller the lens, the better. I would say use a pancake lens, like a 20mm, or something that's small. You always want to put the least amount of weight on this. I would say no more than 3 pounds on this crane. You can do 3.5, but that is pushing it. And I would use something like the GX85 from Panasonic or the G7. That would be just fine because those are much lighter cameras. So despite the fact that my camera was just a little bit too heavy for this thing, this still really is an excellent must-have piece of gear. I'm continually impressed with how these gimbals work and how they work all the same across the board. And they really are an excellent piece of filmmaking gear that's going to make your films and whatever you do look so much more cinematic and look really, really terrific. So while I would suggest using a lighter camera and maybe getting one of the newer versions, because technology always changes, motors get better, programming gets better, for the money, for $550, this still is an excellent piece of gear, and I do recommend it. So, That's all the time we have for today's show. And if you have any questions or comments, you could leave them in the notes below. And be sure to give us a like. And if you want to know when we have brand new videos coming out, which is going to be every other Tuesday, go ahead and hit that bell button up top. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this has been new to me.